Hello, community partners. Welcome to the short tutorial of your CPP student tracking sheet. Let's go ahead and get started. The first tab that you will find is the 22-23 student tracking, underlined in blue. This is where you will submit your students' information. Columns A through G are to submit that information. Columns I through N are for DPS staff. I just have a few examples here to show you. Now, what you submit on these columns, that information is going to transfer onto the other columns, and I'll go through that in just a moment. So here we have an example of a child born in March 2020 with CPP funding. Second example is a child born on October 2nd, 2019 with CPP double funding. The third child is September 15th, 2019 as an alternate. Now this column D, when you submit a birth date, is going to calculate the child's age here in column I. So this is telling me that Kim will be 2 years old on October 1st. Aaron will be 2 years old on October 1st, and Larry will be 3 years old on October 1st. So this calculates the children's age on October 1st. Let's go to the second tab, the funding summary tab. This is where you will find your allocation and information on how many students you have in your tracking tab, the blue tab, and how many slots you have left to assign. Okay, the first one is the allocated CPP slots. Here is this example. We just put 10. If you have one-time additional slots, this is where that number will be, and this will be the ground total. This is telling me the maximum number of infant and toddler students. Not slots, but students. Last year it was slots. This year is students. Here we have a number of 2 students that we can fund with CPP. Now these students, you can fund them as CPP single or CPP double. The next column is telling me assigned slots in student tracking tab. It's telling me that I have 1 child funded as CPP and 1 child funded as CPP double. And here the grand total CPP slots assigned in the tracking tab is 3. Yes, because we have 1 single, 1 double, that counts for 2. That's where this number is coming from. Here it's telling me remaining CPP slots for agency to assign 7. Yes, because this is calculating the 10 allocated slots minus the 3 that I have on my tracking tab, a total of 7. Now this next number is telling me the number of infant and toddler students in the student tracking tab, 2. Go back quickly. Yes, we have 2. We have Kim at 2 years old and Aaron at 2 years old. So that's where this number is coming from. The next number is telling me the remaining infant and toddler students for agency to assign, 0, because I can only assign 2 students my CPP slots, and I already have 2 on my tracking tab, so that's 0. The final number is the number of alternates. If you have more infant and toddlers than what you were allotted, then just go ahead and add them as alternate students. The next tab, underlined in red, is the October attendance verification. Now here, this information from A through F will be transferred from your blue tab, from your student tracking tab. So you won't be able to make any changes here, and all you have to do is insert the attendance markings for these dates. The drop-down menu is the same as last year: absent, absence due to COVID, classroom in quarantine, entry, no school, present, professional development, or withdrew. All right, the next tab, underlined in purple, is the November attendance verification. Once again, this information is frozen because it's transferred from your blue tab. And the markings for November attendance verification with the same drop-down menu as in October. Please remember to insert attendance markings for all your enrolled students, even the alternates. The last tab is the Student Risk Factors tab. This one's a little different as far as the information. It's still transferred and frozen, but this is going to give us in column D the child's age on October 1st. And the reason for this is because remember that children 3 and under need 3 risk factors to qualify. So this is just to help you remember that and for us to know as well when we track the data. All right, each risk factor will have 3 columns. Here, for example, we have risk factor number 1 with the drop-down menu. This is the list to choose from the risk factor. The next column is asking me, identify how center verifies children meet this criterion. Here, there's a list of how you could possibly verify the risk factor. If you can't find how you verify from this list, how you verify the risk factor, choose other. This will highlight in yellow, and what this means also is that you have to type in how you verify that risk factor. It says, if other was selected, enter risk factor verification information. And same for risk factor number 2, 3, and so on. There are up to 10 risk factors to choose from. And that is it. Thank you, and I hope we all have a wonderful 22-23 school year.